What would you do if a crumpled receipt in your kitchen trash quietly proved your entire marriage was a lie? It was 2:13 a.m., and the only light in our Chicago apartment came from the refrigerator door I'd left open. My hand was still inside the trash bag, fingers wrapped around a folded invoice from a veterinary clinic on West Fullerton Avenue. My wife, Emily, was asleep down the hall. Or at least, I thought she was. The receipt listed vaccinations, a microchip, and a name. Benny. We didn't have a dog. I stared at the date, 2 days ago, and the client name printed just beneath it. Her name. And then, right under it, another name I didn't recognize. That was the moment something inside me cracked, but I didn't know yet how deep it went, until I heard her phone vibrate in the dark. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. I didn't confront her that night. I wish I could say I was strong, that I stormed into the bedroom and demanded answers. But the truth is uglier. I was scared of what I might find. So I stayed quiet. I placed the receipt back exactly how I found it, washed my hands, and stood there listening to the low hum of the city outside. The next morning, Emily was different. She kissed my cheek like always, but it felt rehearsed. Her eyes didn't linger. She rushed her coffee, barely touched her toast, and left early, saying she had client meetings near downtown. We had been married for 8 years. 8 years of routines, shared rent on North Halsted Street, lazy Sundays at diners, and late-night movies on the couch. I thought I knew every corner of her life. But now there was a dog, a name, another man, and she hadn't told me. That week, I started noticing everything. She guarded her phone like it was a loaded weapon. She angled the screen away from me. Notifications lit up at odd hours, always silenced before I could read them. She began showering twice a day. She bought new clothes, things she never wore for me. I remember one evening at a small diner on West Diversey Parkway. We were sitting in a booth, neon lights flickering through the window. I tried to joke, tried to pull her back into something normal. "You've been busy lately," I said, stirring my coffee. "Work?" She replied flatly, not looking up. "Must be a big project." Yeah, that was it. No smile. No elaboration. Just walls. I felt like a stranger sitting across from my own wife. A few days later, I got my first real confirmation. She forgot her phone on the kitchen counter. It buzzed once. Then again. I stared at it for a long time, my chest tightening, my hands sweating. Then I picked it up. The screen lit up. "Did you tell him about Benny yet?" My heart dropped into my stomach. Another message followed. "We can't keep hiding forever." The contact name was saved as AM. I opened the thread. There were pictures. A golden retriever puppy, Benny, running through a park, sitting in someone's lap. Not mine. There were selfies. Emily smiling, her head resting against a man's shoulder. His arm wrapped around her like it belonged there. Dates. Messages. Plans. Hotels in downtown Chicago. Weekends I thought she was visiting her sister. Nights she said she was working late. I scrolled until my vision blurred. 8 months. They'd been together for 8 months. I put the phone back exactly where it was and sat down on the floor. I didn't cry at first. I just sat there, staring at nothing, trying to breathe. Then it hit me all at once. The humiliation. The betrayal. The realization that I had been living in a lie while they built something real behind my back. They even got a dog together. A life. While I was just an obligation. That night, I broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. In the bathroom, sitting on the cold tile floor with my back against the tub, staring at my reflection in the mirror. I didn't recognize the man looking back. But something else was forming beneath the pain. Something colder. Something patient. I stopped reacting. I stopped asking questions. I became agreeable. Emily noticed. "You've been quiet," she said one night, slipping off her heels. "Just tired," I replied. She studied me for a moment, then shrugged. "You should get more sleep." I almost laughed. Instead, I nodded, and I started planning. Over the next few weeks, I gathered everything. Screenshots from her phone when she wasn't looking. Photos of receipts. Copies of bank statements showing hotel charges. I even hired a private investigator, an old guy who knew the streets better than anyone. He followed her, documented everything. The meetings, the kisses, the apartment the other guy, Adam, was renting near West Loop. Benny lived there. Their dog. Their little family. While I paid half the rent for the place, she barely came home to anymore. I met with a lawyer, a sharp woman with glasses and a voice that didn't tolerate nonsense. She's been using marital funds for the affair, she said, flipping through the evidence. That's significant. I want everything airtight, I told her. It will be. Then I set the final piece. Emily's birthday. She loved attention, loved being the center of everything. So I planned a party at a private room in a restaurant on Michigan Avenue. Invited her friends, her coworkers, even her parents. And Adam, using her phone, I sent him an invitation myself. It's time everyone knew. The night of the party, she looked radiant. Laughing, smiling, playing the perfect wife. I watched her from across the room, feeling nothing. When everyone had arrived, I stood up, tapped my glass. Can I have everyone's attention? The room quieted. Emily smiled at me, unaware. I connected my phone to the screen behind me. And now, I said calmly, I'd like to show you who my wife really is. The first image appeared. Emily and Adam, holding Benny. The room went silent. Then the messages, the receipts, the timeline, gasps, whispers, shock. Emily's face drained of color. What are you doing? She whispered, standing up. I didn't answer. I just kept going. Adam tried to leave, but someone blocked the door. Her parents stared at her like they didn't recognize their own daughter. This isn't what it looks like, she started. 8 months, I said quietly. That's what it looks like. She turned to me, eyes wide, desperate. You're ruining everything. I shook my head. No, I said. You already did that. The fallout was immediate. Her job found out. The company had strict policies about workplace relationships. Adam was a client. Both of them were terminated within a week. Her parents cut her off. Our mutual friends disappeared from her life overnight. And legally, she got nothing. Every dollar she spent on him, every lie she told, it all came back to destroy her in court. The apartment near West Loop? Gone. Adam, he vanished the moment things got hard. Even Benny was rehomed. I moved out a month later. Found a smaller place. Quieter. Sometimes, late at night, I think about who she used to be. Or maybe who I thought she was. I don't feel anger anymore. Just emptiness. And a strange kind of peace. Because in the end, she didn't just lose me. She lost everything she built behind my back, and there was nothing left for her to come back to. The end.